Hello everyone, Jai Swaminarayan. I am Professor Urvish Mewada, HOD Electrical Department, Sri Swaminarayan Institute of Technology, Bhat Gandhinagar. I am the subject matter of Power System 2 subjects, which is in the 5th sem electrical, and the GTU subject code for this subject is 3150911. Students, we are currently studying chapter number 3, Transmission Line Modeling and Performance. Now, in last lecture we have studied about the ABCD parameters of the transmission line for different transmission system, means for short, medium and long transmission. Now in this lecture we have, this is our topic number 8, power flow through a transmission line. So let us discuss how the power flow through the transmission line. So here one line is given that has a generating station and a load. So in this line we have the two buses, bus 1 and bus 2. So at sending end the voltage is at Vs at angle delta, means this is the sending end voltage. We are sending this voltage at angle delta, and Vr means at the receiving end, so Vr it is at angle 0. So in between two buses we have the transmission line, and it has its own ABCD parameters. Now these two powers are the apparent power of the say sending end side, and this is the receiving end side. So as we know that the apparent power is a combination of active power and reactive power, so this is sending end side, that's why PS plus JQS is the apparent power for the sending end side, and SR is equal to PR plus JQR is the receiving end side apparent power. Now we are considering a single line diagram of three-phase transmission line with having two buses. So how here we assume that VR is receiving end voltage, and as usual we are take VR as a reference, so that's why VR is at angle 0. So VR is taken as a reference, that's why VR is indicated as VR is at angle 0. Now Vs is equal to, Vs is at angle delta, because sending end voltage, say delta is a phase angle between the sending end and receiving end voltage. So the generalized constant are ABCD constants generally we have for the transmission line. So A is at angle alpha, B is at angle beta, C is at angle gamma, and D is at angle delta, that we here mentioned for this transmission line. Now complex power for the say at the receiving side is SR is equal to PR plus JQR. So generally we can write in the conjugate form of SR, means receiving and power at apparent receiving and power is VR into IR conjugate. So keep it as number 1. Next, the IR is generally, it's a conjugate of receiving and current IR. Now we know that from the ABCD parameter, the sending end voltage equation is equal to A is equal to VR plus BIR. Now from this equation, if we make IR as a subject, then this equation will become IR is equal to VS minus AVR by B. Now we know that Vs is we have the sending end voltage is at angle delta, and we have receiving end voltage as is at angle 0, and we have this B is at angle beta. So let us put all the angles of respective voltages of sending end and receiving end, and the beta factor B. So the B parameter of the transmission line. So Vs at angle delta minus A is at angle alpha, that we already mentioned the angle over here. So please take in account while you put the values of all the parameters. So Vs is at angle delta, and A is at angle alpha, and VR is at angle 0 because it is taken as a reference, and B is at angle beta. Now split this term, so Vs by B is at angle delta minus beta, means if you have two angles in denominator and numerator, so if we combine it, then that will become and that will be the means subtraction of that two angles, means delta minus beta. Now A into VR divide by B is at angle alpha minus beta, because this is angle at means reference, so that's why it is 0. So we are not considering this angle over here. So A into VR divide by B at angle alpha minus beta, this is the equation number 2. Now as we know that IR conjugate is equal to Vs into Vs by B, and beta minus delta, and A into Vr divided by B beta minus alpha. So we can write this SR is equal to Vr into IR. Now let us multiply the IR with Vr. So Vs into Vr divided by B at angle beta minus alpha. See, this is the Vs by B delta minus beta minus delta. So for this conjugate, if we multiply the Vs term over here, so Vr is over here with the Vs, so Vs into Vr divided by B beta minus delta. Now A into over here, see, you can see that A into Vr, now we have again a Vr over here, so A into Vr square by B at angle beta minus alpha. So this is the equation number 3. Now generally we separates the real and imaginary part of the power, means active, whether it is active or reactive. Generally we indicate it as a in the separate form. So then we get the values of PR and QR. So receiving and true power means the power which is actually consumed by the system is will be that will become Vs into Vr by B cos at angle beta minus delta. Why this cos is over? Because uh, why this cos is over here? Because this is the real power or the power consumed by the network or circuit, so that's why it is cos phi. And the AVR square B cos beta minus delta. And if we want to show this equation in terms of reactive power, then this cos term will be replaced with the sign. So the equation will remain as it is. So Vs into Vr divided by B sine beta minus delta, and A Vr square by B sine beta minus delta. So this is the power which is consumed by the, or this is the power which is flowed in through the transmission line. Now for fixed value of Vs and Vr, if Vs and Vr both are fixed, the power received will be the maximum. See, when this power will receive will be the maximum if beta minus delta is equal to 1. Okay, so if beta minus delta is equal to 1, then cos is equal to 1. So cos is equal to 1, at that time power transferred will be maximum. Or delta and beta both are equal, so delta minus beta is equal to 0, then cos 0 is equal to 1. So at that time we can have the maximum power. So Vs into Vr by B into minus A into Vr square by B cos beta minus alpha. And this is the active power equation, and this is the reactive power equation. So Qr is equal to minus A Vr square sine beta minus delta. If we place these values in this, so we will get this equation in terms of active power and reactive power maximum. So this is the equation number 6, and this one is the equation number 7. Now in transmission line, generally that we derive A is equal to D is equal to 1 at angle 0, and B is equal to Z at angle 0. So now substituting these values in equation number 4 and 5, that we derived this equation. In this we are substituting that A is equal to D is equal to 1 at angle 0, and B is equal to Z at angle 0. Now if we place this value, then this equation will become Vs into Vr divided by Z, because the B is replaced with the Z. So cos theta minus delta Vr square by Z cos. So here alpha is equal to 0 and beta is equal to theta. That's why this PR is equal to Vs into Vr divided by Z cos theta minus delta, and Vr square by Z cos theta. Now this is the real power equation or active power equation for the transmission line. Now for now for the reactive power that we need to means that is derived from this equation is Vs into Vr divided by Z. So the sign terms which is related with the reactive power, so sine theta minus delta minus Vr square by Z, and cos theta is equal to sine theta. Okay, now these are the equation for the reactive power and active power which flows through the transmission line. So the resistance of transmission line is usually generally it is considered as a means it is very small, so that's why we can neglect the resistance, because generally we write the equation for the transmission line, say r plus jx. So in the r plus jx, generally we neglect the resistance term, because the resistance of the transmission line is very small, so generally we consider the reactance only. So here r is equal to z is equal to r plus jx. So if r is equal to 0, then z is equal to x. So at that time, and if we consider theta is equal to 90, so our equation for the reactive power over here, so if we put over here theta is equal to 90, then our equation will become vs into vr by x into sine delta. Now in the previous term, previous equation which is showed in the this slide, so in this term qr is equal to vs into vr by x and cos delta minus vr square by x. So delta is a power angle, it is usually very small, so cos delta is equal to 1. That's why qr is equal to vs into vr by x minus vr square by x. So these two are the equation for the active power and reactive power, which is actually flows through the transmission system. Now if we put sine delta, or we can say delta is equal to 0, then sine 0 0, so this power will be 0. And if we put sine 1, means at that time means 90, so this time this PR will be maximum. So actually this is the excitation angle, or the angle between, we can say, voltage and current. So if we maintain this excitation angle or voltage and current, then we can have the maximum power, and we can transfer the maximum power with minimum efficiency. So let us discuss the topic number 9 for this chapter. Means it is Faraday effect. So you all are aware with this word Faraday effect, but let us discuss what is actually the Faraday effect is through this presentation. Now okay, now let us discuss the Faraday effect in the power system. So basically the power which flows means it has a tendency which means the power which flows in the transmission line, say higher potential to lower potential. So means for all electrical system, current flows from the region of higher potential to the region of lower potential generally, and it is just because of to compensate the potential difference that exists in the transmission system. So due to that potential difference, always power flows from the higher potential to lower potential, and in all say practical cases, the sending end voltage is generally higher, because line has its own losses, because we are not using the superconductor, or we can say means the conductor which having the least resistance. So means they are impure, means somewhat extent they are impure, so that offers the resistance. Due to that this is the obvious case that the sending end voltage always remain higher than the receiving end. So the current flow from the source or the supply end to the load, generally current flows, why current flows just because of the potential difference, and just because of the potential difference, voltage of transmission line flows from the sending end to receiving end, and due to that the current also flows from the sending end to receiving end, and at receiving end we have connected the load. So generally the current which flows from the source to load. But the person who have invented this Faraday effect, the name of this person is S.Z. Faraday in 1890. He came up with an astonishing theory about medium or long distance transmission line, and that suggests that in case of light loading or no load operation of the transmission system, the receiving and voltage of the or voltage often increase. So this is the case where the receiving and get increased, receiving and voltages get increased. The reason is the load which is connected to the transmission line is, say, light load, or the load means the transmission line is at no load. So at that time it may means receiving and voltage may increase beyond the sending and voltage limit, means value, then leading to the phenomena which is known as the Faraday effect. As we know that the receiving and voltage generally lesser than the sending and voltage, but and we also know the definition of the Faraday effect, that the receiving and voltage will increase due to the receiving and voltage increase then the sending and voltage, then it is called the Faraday effect. But how this voltage will increase, let us discuss. Then why Faraday effect occur in the transmission line, that will discuss in this the next topic. So the Faraday effect generally occurs due to the in a long transmission line. Generally it can be considered to compensate a considerably high amount of capacitance and inductance distributed across the entire length of the line. Generally we have the imaginary capacitance and we have the line inductance in the transmission system. So we can say that it is means high amount of capacitance and inductance distributed entire over means entire all the means whole length of the transmission line. Generally we discuss this topic in the long transmission system, that all the parameters, transmission parameters are equally distributed, so that the effect of the capacitance we can minimize in case of the long transmission system. So here this statement is also saying that the amount of the inductance and the amount of the capacitance which is formed in the transmission system, that is distributed across the entire length of the line. And the Faraday effects occur when the current drawn by the distributed capacitance, means the capacitance, if we not distributed capacitance properly, or if there is we can say chances of formation of the capacitance in say line to line or line to ground, so that will draw the current, and the line itself greater, line itself is greater than the current associated with the load at the receiving end and of the line. Means during the light load or no load condition, at that time the capacitance which forms, or the capacitors which are connected in the transmission line will draw the power, and so that due to that distributed capacitance of the line itself, it is greater than the current associated with the load. So this capacitor charging current leads to the voltage drop across the line generally, and inductance of the transmission line, transmission system, which is in phase with the sending and voltage. So if that will become in phase with the sending and voltage, so this voltage drop keeps the increasing additively as we move towards the load end of the line, and subsequently at the receiving end voltage tends to get larger than the applied. So voltage leading to the phenomena called the Faraday effect. See, if we want to explain this in simple term, that how Faraday effect occur or generated. See, we have the long transmission system, short transmission system, and medium transmission system. In in short transmission system, generally we do not face this problem of the Faraday effect, but in the case of say medium transmission and long transmission system, generally we distribute all the parameters, means equally, so that we can minimize the effect of the capacitance, means imaginary capacitance. And if the system having the capacitors which are connected for the compensation, and if the system is at no load or light load, at that time that capacitor will get charged. And if they get charged, then due to that charging, the potential between say line to line will increase. And gradually, if you go ahead from sending end to receiving end, that voltages will get added. And due to after that, at the receiving end, if you check that the addition of that voltage, that will be more than the sending end voltage due to that effect. So this is nothing but the Faraday effect in the transmission system. Also, it is illustrated with the help of a phasor diagram that we will discuss in the next slide. And thus both the capacitance and inductance effect of the transmission line are equally responsible for the particular phenomena that occur, and hence the Faraday effect is say negligible in case of the short transmission line. We are not considering this because line as the inductance of the line is practically considerable to be nearby zero, because in short transmission system the inductance we are say consider that it is negligible. So in general case, the Faraday effect occur only when the transmission line, say 300 kilometer line operating at 50 hertz. See, in general, for 300 kilometer line operating at 50 hertz, the no load receiving and voltage has been found to be 5% higher. So if we send the 100 volt from the sending end side, and if the length of the transmission line is say 300 kilometer, and frequency is 50 hertz, then output voltage, or we can say the receiving end voltage of the transmission line will be 105. So this is nothing but the Faraday effect due to the capacitance and the inductance which are basically available in the transmission system. And this is means occur only when the transmission system is at no load or light load. So let us discuss the Faraday effect, say through the phasor diagram. So here VR means receiving end voltage is taken as a reference, and the current which is due to the capacitor is leads to VR by angle 90 degrees. So OD represent the current which is passing through the capacitor. Now in the direction of the capacitor, the resistive drops will take place of the say capacitor. So both are say aligned to each other. So ICR, it is 90 degree to VR, and at exact 90 degree to resistive component of the say power system, the reactive components or reactive drop will take place. So at 90 degree we draw the reactive drop which is take place due to the capacitor. So if we merge these 2 points, the point C and point O, that will be the sending end voltage of the transmission system, and this is what the voltage will get say added up due to the capacitor. So from the phasor diagram you can also see that the length of the sending end voltage is less than the receiving end voltage. So this is how the Faraday effect occur. Now let us see analysis of the Faraday effect. Let us consider the phasor diagram shown above. So VR is considered to be the reference phasor, and it is indicated as a OA. Thus VR is equal to VR 1 plus J0, because it is at reference, so there is no angle, so 1 plus J0. Now the capacitor current is 2 pi FC into VR, as we know that V is equal to I into R, but R is 1 upon X. So 1 upon XC is 1 upon 2 pi FC, so J omega C into VR. Now the sending end voltage Vs is equal to, it is a combination of VR plus resistive drop plus reactive drop. So VR ICR, then J ICX. This is the means through these three terms the VS forms. So just place the values of all the say resistances and reactances. So IC, if we make keep IC as a common, or take out the IC as a common, then VR plus IC into R plus JX. So VR plus J omega C VR, R plus J omega L, because XL is also the 2 pi FL. So this term indicates that this is the sending end voltage. Now if we further solve this, then this equation will become Vs is equal to VR minus the losses, so omega square 2 CL VR plus j omega c r VR. So this represented by the OC. So this is the sending end voltage which is represented by the OC, and this is the magnitude of the Vs, and it is VR minus omega square 2 CL VR j omega C R VR. Now in case of the long transmission line, it has been practically observed that the line resistance is negligibly small. See that we discussed in the theory section of the Faraday effect. So it is just the say it is just for your say just we are recalling that the resistance is very negligible compared to the reactance. So hence we can assume the length of the phasor, say ICR, is equal to 0, because there is say resistance effect is negligible, so that's why ICR is 0 in this phasor diagram, because we are neglecting this term, so this will be 0. Now we can consider the rise in the voltage only due to the OA minus OC. So this is the O and this is O, this is OA, then OC. So this is OC. So this amount of voltage is increased just because of the capacitance and the inductance which are present in the transmission system. So if this term will be 0, and if we superimpose these two terms, then VR is equal to Vs plus ICX, or Vs is equal to VR minus ICX. So let us discuss. Now if we consider C0 and L0 are the values of the capacitor and the inductance per phase, per kilometer of transmission line, where L is the length of the conductor or length of the line, then Xc is equal to say 1 upon 2 pi fc, but here the length of the conductor is multiplied with the Xc. So say 2 pi fl into C0. So since in this case a long transmission line, the capacitance is distributed throughout the length, so the average current flowing is IC is equal to 1 upon 2 into omega VR by XC. So if we put the value of XC over here, then this equation will become 1 upon 2 VR omega L C0. Now the inductive reactance of the transmission line is 2 pi FL. So 2 pi FL 01, we are considering the effect of capacitor and the inductor L0 is for the inductor it is L0, that's why it is L01. Now thus the rise in the voltage due to the inductance is given by ICX is equal to 1 upon 2, and this is the term for due to means because of that term the we will get the rise in the voltage. So VR omega L C0 into XL X into omega L 01. So voltage rise is say 1 upon 2 VR omega square into L square C0 L0. So from this above equation, it is obviously or absolutely evident that the rise in the voltage at the receiving end is directly proportional to the square of the length of the line. The square of the line length, if line length is more, then the chances of the Faraday effect will be more. If it is light loaded system, is if system is light, or we can say there is no load, means load is not connected. So in case of the transmission line, it is keep increasing with the length of the even goes beyond the applied sending end voltage at times. So leading to the phenomena is called the Faraday effect and Faraday effect in the power system. So after this presentation, we have the assignment question. This is not the assignment question, this is the worksheet question. I made the typing mistake over here. So what do you mean by Faraday effect in the power system? Explain the causes and remedies of the Faraday effect. So this is your this is your worksheet question, and for the assignment question, the power flow through the transmission line with suitable diagram. The related instructions of say assignment and the worksheet are written in this means below the assignment question and worksheet question. Now you can take the snap of this slide. or and if you have any doubt or any query after this lecture, so we can solve your doubt and queries into the our doubt solving session. Also feel free to call me to solve your doubts. This is all about uh, the second means last topic of the this chapter, and after this we will discuss the circle diagram of the receiving and means at the receiving end of the transmission line. So that will be the last topic of the this chapter. So thank you very much, student. Thank you all. Jai Swaminarayan.